Egon Austrian Painter was born in Vienna, Austria in 1893. He started helping his father with his work in painting and sculpting early in life. His style was like Cubism blended with realism. Egon Austrian Painter was known for his unique artwork that was inspired by scenes and objects from the everyday life that he observed while living in Vienna. One of his most iconic works was a large wooden door painted with scenes of city life in the early 20th century. He was a master at using light, dark, and bright colors to create his works. His use of geometric shapes and lines was both striking and captivating. He also used a lot of symbolism in his work, depicting various aspects of modern life. Egon Austrian Painter also did many watercolor sketches to capture his impressions of landscapes and buildings. He was very versatile in his paintings and his works spoke volumes about the world around him. His later works became even more abstract and surrealistic. He developed a unique style that was showcased in his works, such as an oil painting called Witches in the Woods depicting the dark and gloomy atmosphere of the forest. In 1925, Egon Austrian Painter became the founding member of the artist group of Austrian artists. This group consisted of 14 artists, and their works aimed to combine the traditional and the modern. He was very productive in his career, and at one point he was working on many paintings at the same time. He was highly inspired by Van Gogh and it was noticeable in his work. His other works include a number of abstract oil and watercolor paintings as well as wood carvings and frescoes. He was also highly influenced by Kandinsky and many of his works have a similar look and feel. In 1927, Egon Austrian Painter exhibited his work at the Salon de l'Indépendance in Paris, where he gained international recognition. From there he continued to exhibit his work in different parts of Europe, such as Vienna and Rome. After this, Egon Austrian Painter had a number of exhibitions in other countries, such as Belgium, Sweden, and England. His works gained more and more recognition and were appreciated by many who viewed them. During World War II, Egon Austrian Painter moved to the United States where he lived until his death in 1988 at the age of 95. Even though he was away from his homeland, his work stayed with him and he continued to paint until the very end of his life. Even in America, he continued to work on his art. He held a number of exhibitions in the US and he was eventually invited to the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, where his works were displayed until his death. Nowadays, Egon Austrian Painter is still well known for his abstract and landscape paintings. His artwork is featured in many galleries around the world, and his works are still incredibly popular. Many of his works have also been featured in countless films, television shows, and music videos. His work has inspired many other artists who continue to look up to him and his unique style of painting. Egon Austrian Painter is thought to have been one of the first artists to use a symbolic, almost transcendental language when he created his work. He was heavily influenced by Cubism and Abstractionism, and these aspects are recognizable in his work. Overall, Egon Austrian Painter was an incredibly influential artist and his work continues to be revered by many people today. His approach to painting was so ahead of its time, and helped pave the way for the future generations of artists. Egon Austrian Painter was known for being crossword, so it is no surprise that he was also a prolific painter of crossword puzzles. He often used a grid-like structure and vibrant colors to create vivid visuals of crossword puzzles. Egon Austrian Painter had an innate connection to the world around him, and this was evident in his work. He often depicted the ordinary things in life that we take for granted through his use of abstraction and realism. The themes of his work often dealt with the duality of life, and his works often exuded a sense of isolation and loneliness. He was able to capture the human emotions and feelings and use it to create beautiful works of art. The crossword puzzles that Egon Austrian Painter created were often full of symbolism and sometimes required dedicated solving. These puzzles were like a work of art in themselves and had people coming back for more. It can be assumed that Egon Austrian Painter's love of crosswords gave him insight into the abstract world of painting. His works always seem to have a greater meaning, often linking disparate parts of a painting together. It is also thought that Egon Austrian Painter's passion for puzzles helped him to explore new and creative ways of expressing himself in painting. He was never afraid to take risks and break boundaries in order to create his works. Egon Austrian Painter truly changed the world of art and gave birth to a whole new genre of art. His influence can be seen in works of famous painters such as Picasso and Chagall. By incorporating his own interest in crosswords into his work, Egon Austrian Painter was able to find the perfect balance between realism and abstraction. He was also able to draw attention to the intricate details of his art. Another aspect of Egon Austrian Painter's work was his versatile use of color. His paintings evoked a sense of warmth and brightness that was often missing from other works of the period.